Hey guys, it is really unbelievable. 4.5 million Ukrainians who fled the country after Russia's invasion now live in the EU. So we were curious to find out how these people build a new life from scratch and what stories they can tell us about the situation in Ukraine and about Russia's influence campaign inside of Europe. Today we talked with two Ukrainians living in Belgium. Let's hear what they have to say.
If I can share my message for a European audience, please stop accept Russian culture in your cities, because today this is Russian opera, and tomorrow this is Russian drone, day after tomorrow this is Russian soldier. How you can keep a peace? You need support Ukraine, and strongly support. Give us please all the weapon, all the necessary support just to stop Russians and to finish this war.
We lost our family. We lost our parents, sometimes husbands. People who came to Brussels, they feel big mental health issues.
For my kids, I gonna tell them, guys, never speak with Russian, even stand in the one room, because it's a huge pain for our country. They killed my friends. Russian, they are like a cancer. Once they enter somewhere, they multiply and make a lot of problems.
Our guests, Pavlo, Koshka and Marina Krasnoshchok, are Ukrainians who fled the country after Russia's invasion in 2022. Pavlo was an opera director in Odesa, and Marina, from the Donbas region, worked in international business and construction. Today they live in Belgium and joined an organization that supports Ukrainian refugees. Pavlo develops cultural and artistic programs and advocates for banning Russian artists from performing in the EU. Marina provides social and psychological support for refugees to overcome their trauma and start a new life.
Pavlo, professional theater and opera director in Odesa, which unfortunately has been and is being under heavy Russian attacks. You continued your work even under Russian artillery fire. Can you tell us about the power of art in these situations?
Guys, it was very hard because for first months of the big invasion in Ukraine, this opera house was closed because it was really impossible to work. It was a lot of soldiers around. It was because the opera house in the city center, so it was extremely dangerous to open the theater. And actually, just between us and your followers, on the top of the theater, we had the air defense system. Yeah, it was extremely dangerous, even for old opera house. But we had no choice. We need to defend our city, and we were ready to defend from Russians. And after 1 month and a half, we will open the theater just for employees, for artists. We have recorded some videos, but during the recordings we had the explosions. So, for example, we had a Nabucco, so the very beautiful opera, also about the war, also about the crazy leader who want to destroy some people. And during the shooting, we heard the big explosion, and we have stopped the shooting and just wait for a few hours. And when the opera house were open, it was also very hard to work because we need to stop for air alarms, so it was very hard. But now people, they are still working, and because we are Ukrainians, we don't scare. We want to do our job and share the art. And art, they have a big power, actually.
Yeah. Because it can give people hope. I think also during Second World War, many theater kept performing under German fire because it's a way to make people understand that life is still continuing.
Yeah, it's true.
And you had the artillery fire on top of
no, not artillery. It was some small system, let's say. It's not like a big Patriot system. No. It just imagine something smaller.
Yeah, and now with many Ukrainians in Belgium and in Brussels, how is the artistic vibe of Ukrainian in the city?
Here in Brussels, so we faced a lot of Russian art here, so it's not so easy to promote Ukrainian culture because, guys, if you look in La Monnaie, for example, for next season, you will find some Russian opera, Boris Godunov, with the Russian cast. So I wrote it in the article in my LinkedIn about this because I really don't understand why you guys, Europeans, accepted the Russian art. I know for you there are no relation between the Putin regime and some like art, like operas, like Dostoevsky or something like this. But for us guys, it's the linked. So it's like how to say, it's some kind of Russian aggression advocacy, let's say, because when you accepted the Russians on your stage, you invite them, you pay them the salary and something like this. Afterwards, these guys came back to Russia, buy some, I don't know, some there are no Coca-Cola. They buy some shit like they used to buy, and they pay taxes. And the Russian Putin's regime used these taxes to buy the missiles and hit Ukrainian cities. Yes, it's not so obvious for everybody, but it's a strong connection. So the Russian art, it's eagle for Russian propaganda. And for example, soon it's gonna be like a performance of Anna Netrebko, so famous Russian opera singer that support openly aggression. She was in the DNR, some like occupied Donetsk region, supported the Russians, so not soldiers, so some like a temporary government there, and she took a photo with the flag of this fake republic. So, and at the same time, she was invited in Luxembourg to perform. Unfortunately, in Italy, in La Scala, yeah, she performed. And every time, if you saw some in Instagram, yeah, because I follow La Scala, Opera di Roma, so because it's my passion, I write, hey guys, che cosa fai? Or I know some swear words, but I don't use on Instagram this because for me it's really linked. And the Russian, they think, okay, we are accepted in Europe, so it's like it's guilty only Putin. It's not our responsibility. But it's not Putin who launched the missile, who killing the people in Bucha and the other cities. You know, it's a question of like about common responsibility. Who gonna pay the reparation? So, and when you see like Russians who are so like I'm against Putin, but it's not true, guys. Your country started this war. Your country make crimes. Your country killing people. So it's a common responsibility for all of your big shitty country, not only for Putin or some government. So that's why, if I can share my message for a European audience, please stop accept Russian culture in your cities, because today this is Russian opera, and tomorrow this is Russian drone, and day after tomorrow this is Russian soldier, because we know it. We had a big history with Russia, unfortunately. It was a big invasion, first of all, culture invasion. It works very good. So you make use people for your culture, for your language, for your national heroes. After you're saying, okay, look, Ukrainian, they speak the same language, they know the same culture, they know Pushkin, they know Dostoevsky, so they are like Russians. So let's kill them. Let's kill them. Let's take their cities. And the same thing gonna work in Europe, because it's like a soft influence, guys. Really, you need to think about it. I know for non-Ukrainian people, it's really a tough question. You know, you have a lot of things to do, but it's my like small advice for everybody who watching this video. Please think about it.
Yeah, and I think it's it's a very interesting link that you make, you know, between the artist revenue and then basically the founding of the Putin regime. But what about the art that is previous? For example, the Russian invasion, like art. Indeed, you mentioned Dostoevsky. Do you think also there, like, indeed, you will cut also this previous art?
I'm not speaking about total cancellation. So, for example, I'm more worried about the Russian artist, Russian cast who made this production. Okay, I saw in one of the Belgian theater like Dostoevsky. I understand it's like a classical art piece. Everybody like it, but maybe it's not a good time to do it. Maybe to do it later, when Ukraine win, when Russia gonna be destroyed or separated for small region. After say, okay, it was like a history. Let's do it again. But today, in this context, this looks especially for Russian, like a supporting. They say, okay, you make a sanction, you put Ukrainian flag, but in the same time, you liked our culture. Because, and also for Russian, they don't see any borders. This is problem of Russia. And they say, okay, it was written in Soviet Union or even before, but for them, there are no Soviet Union. It was time of Russia, you know? Even for some artists, for example, Tchaikovsky, the greatest composer, he was born in Ukraine. But nobody knows about this. For every word, this is like a Russian composer. Yes, but he's originally not Russian. And we have a lot of different examples like this. So, and for now in Ukraine, we have cancelled Tchaikovsky. So in Odesa Opera House and every city in Ukraine, you can find Tchaikovsky music because we don't have the time and the strength to explain it. It's better to say, and also Tchaikovsky wrote Evgeny Onegin. It's in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, so it's not a good time to perform this opera. But 1 year ago in La Monnaie, we had Evgeny Onegin with the Russian cast. Why? And you know, I'm sorry that I'm attacking a lot La Monnaie. I'm sorry. It's okay. Nothing personal, guys who work in La Monnaie. You have a great opera house, but it was pity to see on the building the pictures from Mariupol, from totally destroyed dramatic theater, and inside Evgeny Onegin. So the like an opera in Moscow about strange Russian soul. You see people singing in Russian language. So for me, I really don't understand. Perché? Really, why? Why, guys?
Do you think there is some active lobbying from the Putin regime behind this? Or are people just not aware here and they do this because they don't know better?
Guys, there are extremely strong lobbying in Russian propaganda in the social media. If you just enter to Ukrainian Embassy Facebook page, you can see a lot of commenters from the bot, from some anonymous account about cancellations of some performance. Today I saw it. And they have very soft propaganda. For example, people in Belgium know more about Bandera. You heard about Bandera?
No.
It's like, let's say, like Russian propaganda says, like Ukrainian extremists during the Second World War who were collaborating with Hitler, but it's not true. And I know some people from Belgium, they don't know even their own history and culture, but they know more about Bandera because this is Russian influence. You see some posts in Facebook, in Twitter, it's always made by Russians because they work like this. They spend a lot of money for this because if you have no results on the battlefield, you want to influence somehow in the Europe. And guys, unfortunately in Italy it's so hard. It's a big Russian influence, especially in the art and in the society. So this is very sad. In Belgium, let's say less, but at least let's say the biggest marker, we still have like here a Russian culture center still. For what purpose, guys? Why you have here Russian culture center? For what? For whom? And for me the biggest question, why only now it's commission or who said that the people who were participating in the war don't get a visa for European Union. You saw this news?
Yes.
Yeah. But guys, it's 2026. So why you've been waiting for 4 years? Let's say, the guys who killing people in Ukraine, it's not good to see them in Roma or in Madrid.
But like, because this ban indeed applies to the Russian soldiers, basically.
Yeah.
But here, like, I mean, I fully understand, but I would also say that you have, like, you know, soldiers that are 18 years old guys that they were just pushed into a war they didn't want to, you know.
But they were there. Okay, this is like Russian propaganda works. It's not like I'm not guilty, I was forced. You know, you have a lot of opportunities. Okay, either you can flee, you can hide yourself, but really the people in the Russian army, they go there first of all, to kill Ukrainians because they hate us, and second, it's to gain some money because, and especially for their family, if you died, your family is so lucky. They're gonna receive 1 million of shitty money in Russia to buy some car or something like this. Really, if you see, I saw previous some like exit poll, some like some statistic how many people support the war in Ukraine. It was a huge percentage of people who supporting, and this guy he's guilty. He's very, very, very guilty. We don't know. For migration service, he can say, I didn't touch even the gun or some weapon, but in the real time he can do something. But even he didn't shoot somebody, he served in army. In army who are killing people. So it's illegal, he's guilty, and he don't have access in Europe. And for me, question for Europe, okay, you're accepting these people for what? For they gonna build a community here, and this community gonna advocate the Russians and make the problems again, because Russian is like I'm sorry, I'm Ukrainian, I can say it. Russian, they are like a cancer. Once they enter somewhere, they multiply and make a lot of problems. Guys, here a few months before we had the drones above the Belgium airports. Is it not a sign for you? So imagine somebody take a drone here or construct it and lands and but this is a question, who did it? I have an answer. So be careful.
You said before that in Ukraine as well, this was a tactic by the Russians to have first soft and cultural influence. How did this work?
Okay, they how to say. If you have in your country very strong influence of other culture, it's like you forget about your own roots because they replace your culture. How it worked during the Soviet Union, they killed a lot of Ukrainian artists, a lot. It was like a prohibit to speak Ukrainian. You couldn't find the book in Ukrainian, so there are no cinema, no theater, and work like this. And you, after this, like a soft invasion, you consider yourself like okay, maybe we are the similar like Russian, because you see on your television a lot of Russian channels and the quality of this production better because they have more money. If you need to choose which TV show you want to see, you have some Ukrainian TV show in Ukrainian language with not okay quality and some like wow super show in the Russian television. What you prefer? You watch Russian television and you know more Russian singers because they are everywhere. You know more Russian music, Russian culture. Guys, little example. I was born in Odesa, in Ukraine. And then I go to the school. It was like an experimental class in Ukrainian language in entire school. All the other classes were in Russian language, and only my class was like an experimental. It was in 1996, so already 5 years independent Ukraine exists. And in the Russian-speaking region, unfortunately, it was like an experiment to have Ukrainian language class, not the entire school. So this is invasion. This is the culture invasion. And it works very, very good. In Latvia, Litva, Estonia, how many they had the Russian school? For what purpose? They don't forget, maybe they forget about the Second World War, how the Soviet Union attacked and invaded this region, but they still have, I don't know about now, I hope there are less Russian speaking school, but they had, and it works as like this. So it's a very complex program, and it's like how to say, hypnotize you, you can say, okay, it just maybe in your beautiful collection you have a small book, Dostoevsky or something like this, and it works like this. It doesn't mean that tomorrow you're gonna make a drone and attack Ukraine. Yes, but at least it's some small thing in your memory, in your, how to say, in your brain, that once you can see, like you told, but this guy 18 years old, he was forced. it works, you know, but because Russian culture say we are Russian, we are like this, you know, we are like Raskolnikov. We don't know why we killed this old woman because we are Russian. So this is like a Russian, how to say, message for everybody. So we are wild. You need to discover us, but we are like some other type of people, you know. So yeah.
So let me ask you one more thing, because indeed when you say that in Odessa, you know, the schools were mainly Russian speaking, I'm on the one hand shocked, and on the other hand I know that, for instance, I'm from a region in Italy where schools are in German, and there it's done for minority protection, and there I say it's super good to have this because a minority is protected. Why is it different in Ukraine?
Because it's not the question about majority or minority. So how to say, we have other minorities like Bulgarian, Romanian, especially in Odessa region, and for them they didn't need the protection because everybody, okay, not everybody, the majority spoke Russian, so there are no practical needs to protect some language or some culture, because it was during for years in years we need to protect Ukrainian minority more than Russian speaking majority, you know. So it's, and also, okay, Italy and Germany, you didn't have the same relation like Ukraine and Russia, and this is the huge difference between our history, you know, because Russia during the hundred of years tried to kill our culture. So it's not the question to protect some Russian speaking people, they already good, you know. It's the question of about your identity, you know, to rebuild your identity, to say for people, guys, you are Ukrainians, you are not Russians, please learn your own culture, speak your own language, just forget about these years of invasion.
And before the war, indeed, one of the acts of Putin was also to publish this essay saying that Russia and Ukraine are exactly the same thing, according to his view. So how many people in Russia, okay, the consensus on the war is still high, in Ukraine, do you think share this view?
Every country have crazy people, you know? really, but these people, they are under propaganda, I think. It's not because it's true, because if you because it's now the social media have a big influence for people, especially for old people, because they have like some social network or some Facebook, and they see only fake news and they believe. So in the beginning of the big invasion, Russian says there are a lot of Nazis in Ukraine. And these people who live in Ukraine, they believed, yes. But in real, if you look, if somebody showed me Ukrainian Nazis, I would be very curious to see. But these people, I saw them, you know, I know these people. They strongly believe in this propaganda. It's very hard to manipulate them. For example, Russian says if you have see the sign on the ground like a croce, how to say cross. Yes, sorry.
First in Italian.
No. It was a joke for you guys to make a pleasure. I know like 10 words in Italian, and I'd like to change a little bit of my aggressive atmosphere. No. So if you see the croce on the ground, it means like it's a sign for drones. You need to cover it, and so in this time it was like a first month of war. Everybody was looking for this croce to kill them, and it was like this. So it was time that even government says you need to shut off the light during the night because drone gonna see your building. But it's not true. Drone like he follows by GPS. He has no eyes, you know, or something like this. And this was small things who worked, and also we had a lot of fake news. For example, so Zelensky was killed, or they already took Odessa, and the people believed. We say, oh no, my God. So this worked like this. So that's why these people, they are not stupid. They just, how to say, naive. They believe that says social media because of years and years of influence.
And me personally, in the Italian public debate, there were a lot of journalists that I was really appreciating before the war, and after the war I stopped following them indeed for these views on Ukraine, that they were saying that indeed you have this Azov battalion that is full of Nazi, you know, that they the propaganda also in Italy is quite strong on the pro-Russian side. And do you think Russia is financing still a lot of political parties in Europe?
Yes,
And
a
public
lot
figures.
of parties, a lot of people, a lot of politicians, a lot of cultural center, a lot of social media, some influencer. Yes, true. We need to stop it, but it's very hard to stop because people used to receive money, you know. For them it's comfortable.
Yeah, but like the financial flows, how does it work in your opinion? Because now a political party cannot receive money from Russia. How do they do it? Through intermediate channels, you think?
Intermediate channels, or you have some extra power, for example, some connection. They say, okay, it's not possible to openly send the money from account to account, but guy, do you like Alfa Romeo? Yeah. Nice car, I think. Okay, you can get one, Giulia Quadrifoglio. No, or otherwise, you have your kid, he want to play in Milan. Guys, which football club you supporting? Sorry to... Juventus?
I'm for Barcelona, but
Juventus,
he's Juventus.
Juventus is best club, yes. No, it's really Gianluigi Buffon. So
great player.
Yeah, Edgar Davids. So it was amazing club when I was a kid. So you have a kid, he want to play in Juventus. It's very hard to get in. But I know some guy, some like a Russian oligarch who had I don't know, some power in this club, and this guy gonna enter. So it works not only about the money, it's work only with connection, and also they can blackmail you. It's always work, and they working like this during the years and years. So they have something for you, for me, for Marina, for everybody. And once if you need to, activate you like a Russian spy, they can send you guys. We have your photo in Barcelona, then you're spending some time with Harvey Weinstein, for example. Yeah, so that's why for me, why Trump behave like this. I think Putin has something for Donald Trump as well, you know, some maybe, I don't know.
On this, I personally agree with this view, you know. Like I read a very interesting book about Trump, how in the 80s, when he was building the Trump Tower, he received a lot of finances from the Russian organized crime that is linked to the Russian secret services, first thing, so they know this. And there's also some, I would say, that some links with sexual behaviors filmed. So you share.
I believe it.
Yeah. If not, it's weird.
I have a question on the, about this relationship between Ukrainians and Russians, because of course at the moment there's huge hate, and understandably so. Is there, for the future, when hopefully the war stops at a certain point, is there a chance to reconcile or to become friends again in 20, 30 years?
Guys, I think you already know my answer. Yes? Yes.
Which is yes.
Yes. No, please. Hey. I will say never. Because they did a big, strongest pain for us every day. It's, I don't know, for me personally, for my kids. And after, I gonna tell them, guys, never speak with Russian, even stand in the one room, you know, because it's a huge pain for our country. They killed my friends, the people that I know. For example, one ballet dancer who has 23 years old. Yes, he was killed in the battlefield. Another opera singer, the greatest tenor. It was the perfect Nadir from Le Pêcheur de Perles. He was like in Rigoletto, in other operas, and he was killed also by Russians. And I know a lot of examples. I know the buildings who were destroyed. I saw in my own eyes the missiles. My son, he afraid still after 4 years, like how to say, I forgot in English, the feu d'artifice, like fireworks, something like this, fireworks, yes. Still here, because during the New Year, everybody doing this celebration, and we are staying home. Really, we are staying home in our apartment because he's so afraid of this explosion. So, guys, there are no time to be a friend. Let's say never. It's not possible because it's I don't know how to describe. we are living under so big pressure, and we are receiving every day very, very bad news. Because in the European media, you can follow only something biggest, like a biggest attack on Kiev. But beside of this, we have everyday attacks. And we know a lot of stories. I know the day of Pasqua, one other word in Italian, just to change the atmosphere. Yes. So, for example, short story. Family, 2 kids, wife and the husband. So it's day before the Easter. He goes makes some shopping to buy the eggs, to buy some groceries. And in this moment, it was attack of the Russia. In this day, I was in Odesa. I saw this missile flying over me. And one of the missile hit the building, the big building, and we saw the big hole, in this building. And this man just came back from the shop, and he see the place where was his apartment, just a big, huge hole. He understand inside this hole it was his daughter and son and his wife. It was day before the Easter, and say me please. How I can forget this? How I can say for Russian, okay guys, it was 5 years ago, let's forget about this. Never. It's not, and I have a lot of stories. And we don't share these stories every day because it's very hard for you guys. It's better to don't know what is the war. Because you have your beautiful life in peaceful country. Do everything that you can to keep the peace. And how you can keep the peace? You need support Ukraine, and strongly support. Give us please all the weapon, all the necessary support just to stop Russians and to finish this war. Because if we're gonna have ceasefire, guys, let's be honest, it's just for 1 year or 2 years, and after 2 years Russia attacked again and more powerful, because they gonna learn the lessons, and it gonna be more powerful, and one day we can have a missile here in the European sky.
I understand this pain that you feel, and also I agree that it's necessary that Russia does not win the war. At the same time, I think we had a bit of a similar situation in the Second World War in Europe, with France and Germany fighting. And of course, in Germany there was a dictatorship at the time, but after the war, Germany and France shook hands. They say we make peace, and that's why the European Union exists today. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure I agree that we should say, we're never friends again, because maybe you destroy the possibility for peace in the future.
It's not the same situation, let's say like this. So because let's say let you ask, what is the relation between the Germany and Israel? So is it the same like Germany in France? So because no, this is the difference. Okay, it was the war. Let's say maybe with Belarusian we can have better relations. Let's say like this, because they just provided the territory for the invasion, and they didn't attack us openly yet. We don't know. Now in 2026, I don't know what's gonna happen after 1 year. But it probably we can have some connection when Lukashenko dies and they gonna change the regime. But with the Russians, it's not the same, because they kill the civilians, openly kill the civilians. So it's not like only military invasion. It's like they want to destroy entire nation, like Hitler would want to destroy entire Jewish people and the others. So for me, it's when I go during my life, I gonna be like propaganda to not to have a deal with the Russians. Please.
How do you see then that it let's say the war stops in 5 years? How do you think? How do you I'm just saying a number, but how do you then see that Ukrainian and Russians are living together? What's the relationship?
Living together. Okay, we're gonna share the same planet. Okay, we have no choice. At least Elon Musk can send them to the Mars. It's gonna be the best idea, I think. 100 million people there. Okay, guys. But I think I hope when we're gonna win, Russia must be divided by some regions to lose their power, because now Russia have a big power, a lot of territories, a lot of people. So for me, the best choice is to have the independence from like countries, and okay, if not, Russia still exists. You just like ignoring them. So do not have any diplomatic connection, any straight connection, any trade connection. And for us, the best solution is to be stronger. That's all. To not see them, just to rebuild our own country, to be part of European Union, and that's all. But there are no deal, no like a connection with Russians. That's all. We can build a big wall like Trump.
And looking concretely at the peace agreement, no, like you see, a ceasefire also, in my opinion, is unlikely to be respected in the long term. The region of Donetsk and Luhansk. So how do you see a ceasefire with Russia leaving fully Ukraine, also the occupied territory, like in concrete terms? What do you think we could really be able to kick out the Russian army from...
We need to kick out Russian army, because if we give them our cities and territories, that means that we lose. Because what our soldiers died during these years, from 2014 actually. So it's not possible one day saying, okay, there are big fatigue in European Union, United States, guys, let's stop here, let's make some deal and let's talk afterwards. Because Russia gonna use this like a ceasefire or peace deal just to prepare themselves for other invasion. So it's not possible. I know I need to be realistic. This is my dreams like Ukrainian. We want it, but I assume that it's probably that we can have this deal. But it's depend of you guys. It's depend of European Union. So how many sanctions you put, how many willingness you have, how strong you are. So if we show the strong sign for Russia, so guys, we cut it you completely, it's the very strong sanction, and they have no choice. Okay, we left the territories just to keep our country alive, in this case, okay, maybe. But if it like this, like soft sanctions, some concern, useless. I'm sorry to be so direct, but it's time to be honest.
Because I also think there, the word is big. Also, sanctions on oil, for example, are very difficult to be respected fully, because you have countries, that are trading oil anyway, regardless of sanctions. And also there in the occupied territories, of course, I would love to see Russian not fully out of Ukraine, but they build very strong and deep trenches, So, like, to regain this territory military is quite complicated, I would say. Do you think, like, without Western troops on the ground, it will be possible?
Yes, it's possible. Without Western troops, it's possible. We just need weapon and money for soldiers. And if you Italians, Catalans, Spanish people don't want to go to Ukraine and serve there, pay us. We're gonna do instead of you your work, because it's possible. Now we are the best country regarding the drones. Really, everybody says, wow, Russian drones is very powerful. So we need just very strong support, tireless support, like it was Lend-Lease during the Second World War. And give us some time. I don't know, I'm not military man, so I don't know how many, but it's a better choice. Because if not, because I know why politicians don't want to make some strong steps. Because if you provide more sanctions, your people gonna feel it. You go to Torino and you see like for 1 liter of gas you need to pay 3 euros. You can ask Meloni, che cosa fai? Che cazzo? You can say like this. Why? They say because it's the sanction, we support Ukraine. You can say, but I'm Mario, I don't want to pay 3 euros. I don't want to pay like it was before, €1.20, and that's all. I don't care about Ukraine. And in the same time, Russia propaganda helps you. It's gonna be like a mass meetings, some manifestations, and that's why everybody understand, okay, if you want to be strong, you can have a big problem in your country. And the small example, maybe you know, last week it was like a big manifestation in Brussels. It was like a teacher, like a primary school teachers, they were against some new rules about economization in the school system. And I saw one video that they explained me everything. It was some teacher, and she showed the F-16. She said, okay, now we're buying the aircraft F-16, and for this money we can pay the salary for teacher, and we need to we can avoid this new system. And also we are buying missiles. So it's the normal people, like people who can elect, who can vote. They saying, and imagine you are politicians, okay, you need to support Ukraine, but at the same time people who elected you, who gonna vote for you for next election, say, okay guys, please stop buying some weapon to protect your country. But frankly speaking, Belgium, you need weapon as well, because your army, you're not Belgium, your army is so small, and if in case of invasion, Russian invasion, unfortunately gonna fall. And the second question about the mobilization of people, if you have the power, strength to resist, it's also, or you can say, okay, make a diplomacy, okay, you want to take a Liège, ça va, pas de souci, okay, Antwerpen, okay, but to have a peace. But it don't work like this. If you give a lion, the hamburger, he gonna cut your hands. It's exactly like works with the Russian. You have only one choice. You need to completely stop them and destroy the military machine to the ground, and afterwards you can start your diplomacy. Okay, let's sit and think how you're gonna live. I'm sorry guys to be so aggressive today in this cozy room.
The vibe.
Yeah, vibe amazing.
No, I think it's super interesting what you said, also because I personally shared the experience of supporting Ukraine through my work, like since now 4 years as well. And just to conclude, indeed, like also for the audience, like there was a famous document given by an American diplomat to the President Truman in the US, that was in the 48, which was called the Kennan Report. And he was saying at the time, so more than almost 80 years ago, that Russians, like their main reason is the reason of force. So force, they need to understand that you are at their level of strength, and then they listen to you. So perhaps is also a thought that is not new, I will say, on this side. And just one last thing I would like to ask you, what do you think about the strikes of Ukraine into Russian territories recently, also in the St. Petersburg and so on?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's better than Netflix, Every Ukrainians follow these videos, and we say, wow, it's cool. It's better really than every Netflix series that I saw. Sure. Why not? It's just our answer, and we attack only military objects, not like a Russian that attacked just randomly. They're sending missiles just to Odesa for some random. We have church attacked, buildings. And the Kherson, if you know Kherson region, they are sending FPV drones, and they attacked every car that they saw or any civilians. It's just like a fun for them. It's like a PlayStation 5. You see, but they playing with real people. And we attacked only military objects, and for us it's very good achievement. And we now you remember this, like a parade for 9th of May. They Putin don't openly ask, but it was like a permission if we can do this parade. It's very good sign for us. We were so happy that now we have some influence, some power, and we need to more and more and more and more.
He asked for if
it not openly ask. It was, he proposed to have ceasefire for 9th of May. That means he wants to make sure that now so there are no Ukrainian drones in the Moscow region. So it's equal, you know. He never asked openly, Zelensky, please give me permission, but it was the sign. And instead of this, we proposed to do a ceasefire earlier, but he refused. So it means.
Do you think this will have an impact on Russian public opinion, because they are seeing drones entering into their territory up to 1,000 kilometers? Actually, also on the military elite in Russia, you think they are starting to understand that maybe the Putin's regime days are close to end?
No, never. They believe very strong in their idea. It's to help them, we need to have some edge, some spies who can influence them, their opinion. Really, it's not so easy.
But I think, that seeing these Ukrainian drones after 4 years of war, that you are not just winning in Ukraine because they are not winning, but you have drones entering into St. Petersburg, 1,000 kilometers inside your territory. So it's a huge also defeat from an image perspective, no?
They have always some excuse. They can say it's not Ukrainians, it's NATO. They always, if they lose some territory, they say, it's we're fighting against NATO. It's not Ukraine. And if they won, they take some cities, they say, it's Ukrainians, Ukrainians. So they always find some excuse, something. It's Russian, they're crazy.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pavlo. Marina, thanks a lot for being here. You're from Sloviansk, a city in Donetsk, so in the eastern part of Ukraine, basically on the front line to Russia. You eventually decided to flee from Ukraine. Can you tell us a bit about the situation there and what finally led you to leave Ukraine?
Okay, yes, I come from Sloviansk, a city in the east of Ukraine, it's the Donetsk region. Now all of the world know about this city, unfortunately. Yes, war started in my life not in 2022, started in 2014 when my city was occupied, and after liberty. Yes, it's big fight for all of us. When Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, I know then my responsibility, it's my children, because our children, it's our generation, it's our future, and that's why it's not easy, but like many Ukrainian moms, I had to make the difficult decision for us to leave my home and look for safety. And then I think about what's the country, safety for us. I don't know what's the country, but now I live in Belgium with my kids. And our main goal, I never want to leave Ukraine, because Europe, it's usual, it's nice holiday, it's nice memories, but it's not my home, because I love my country, I love my local city, my region, but this is our life.
And did you at the time leave by yourself with your kids, or were there other women who left together with you, so you did the journey together?
No, we journeyed together. Yes, because if you have some experience in 2014, and you know what can happen with your family, with your kids, without you, and if you mom, you must be extremely responsibility for your kids, and that's why, of course, with kids together.
And the journey itself to come to the EU, is it dangerous? How long does it take?
First part, of course, is dangerous, because they leave Ukraine from Kramatorsk, in the east of Ukraine's Donetsk region, yes, by train, and Russian people attacks very strong for this period, and of course first part of our trip was dangerous, but then they stopped near the border in Poland. They think what we can do, yes, and we breathe, and after that we came to Brussels. Yes, by plan, and we meet a lot of women with kids. We met a lot of humanitarian organization, local community who want to help us, who want to provide different information. But on this time, my sister live in Belgium, and that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I think maybe we will have it's like holiday, maximum 1 month with kids. We will see, we think what happens around us, what happens in our country, and of course we want to return. But
When did you arrive in Brussels?
now I arrive in Ukul.
No, but when
The I don't remember what the date, but I remember then when I went to migration center. It was 18th of March. Yes, and it's my first time when I met King. Because then he and his family came to migration center. Yes, he provides some conversation with us. If I try, maybe I find my photo with
nice.
family.
We can put it in,
maybe.
in
But
the
then 4 years ago, it's not important for us because we think about other things.
Of
Yes,
course.
other issues, other mentality problem.
Sure.
Yes.
And since 2022, more than 4.4 million of Ukrainians left indeed the Ukraine due to the war. Can you tell us how difficult it is to rebuild a new life from scratch?
Oh, okay. Rebuild life from level 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, it's not easy. But I worked in Ukraine in the system social support in Donetsk Indian administration, and that's why I had some experience how we can support to provide some social service for people who live in difficult situation, who live in difficult condition. Yes, and that's why then I came. I'm staying maybe 1-2 days and thinking, what can I do? What should I do? What can I do? And how can I help you, people who live near with me, the same situation? Yes, and I found voluntary center near the migration center. Yes, and we organize helping for some, I don't know how can I explain, some helping for, first of all, we provide some conversation with local people. Well, because they want to understand what really happens in Ukraine. Yes, what's the situation? But I'm proud for all of the people who stay near with us, because the local Belgian people, it was amazing.
The support.
Because they support us. Then you provide first step in Brussels, you feel support local people. Yep.
That's nice. And so basically you find your way to build a new life by helping others in your same situation. No, that was with this purpose.
Yes, then I thinking, what can I do? I think first of all we must help each other. Belgium system provide a lot of helping for us. Local people provide a lot of helping for us. But extremely important provide at the same context, because if you refugees, if you live in this context, you understand what happens in your mind. How can you explain what happens around you? How can you support? Because sometimes we have some drolly situation. A lot of people who came to Brussels don't know not only English, French, and Netherlands, of course. They know only Ukrainian. And sometimes then they came to CPS, they talk, please look at me and speak with some social assistant Ukraine. Sometimes they're crowded, but it doesn't work. And they have to help our society. We want to help these people, and we try to organize clear, helping. We work like bridge in the middle of Belgium system and Ukrainian society, because the people who came to Brussels, they feel big mental health issues, and that's why sometimes they can't understand, they can't understand what happened, what can they do, how, where, and because life blocked for them.
And can you tell us some particular stories you are proud about of your help that you gave to some people fleeing Ukraine, something that particularly impacted you personally?
I have a lot of stories.
Yes, I imagine.
Yeah, for me it's maybe mean stories for all Ukrainian women, because we lost our family, we lost our parents, sometimes husband, and a lot of men who stay in Ukraine, they our power, because they are our safety. It's not safety for Ukraine, it's safety for all Europe, our men and now women. And then the women came alone with kids to Brussels. They want to do something useful, not useful for yourself, useful for people who stay with you, who live with you in a difficult condition. Try to understand, try to be helpfully, try to be kindly. And at the same time, you had big mental health issues, but you try to be kindly, helpfully. It's extremely important. And a lot of people who came to Brussels, they now it's for me it's big power. Why? Because they try to find job. They study different language. They try to integrate. They organize all the process at the same time, and they organized difficult process for kids, because kids, our main goal, we have to provide safety for them. It's our next generation, and sometimes our kids more clear, for example, in language, level than moms, and only, I don't know, it's like fairy tale, because people in extremely difficult condition connect and provide one power for helping. And in 2022 we provide this helping for Ukrainian society, but after they built and organized Ukrainian Voices Refugee Committee, after the 2023, we provide support not for only Ukrainian society, we provide for all people who live in difficult conditions, for all nationalities, because for now, for us, it's not important, are you yellow, blonde, black, little, small. For us, very important, it's helping.
So it's all refugees?
Yes, for all refugees, yes. And now, after the 2023, we provide helping for all refugees. If you need, of course, most of the part, it's Ukrainian, but other people, it's other nationalities. Pavlo explain more things about,
And this organization, the Ukrainian Voices Refugee Committee, you do a lot of different things. I think you provide shelter to people who arrive. What else do you do?
Okay, shelters. It's then people in 2022, a lot of people arrive in Belgium, and we had support from Belgium region. Yes, and a lot of people who provide resources, it was be volunteers, and only in 2023 we start our organization and organize some services, and the first, I remember, maybe second year, we provide shelters only for Ukrainian society, but after we provide for other nationalities. Now we have nearly 500 places, and only 220 places for Ukrainian And other places for other nationalities, it's for single men and for teenagers, for women and kids, for LGBT, for people, invulnerable people. Yes, and they shelters is not about safety. It's not about safety sleeping. It's shelters for our opinions. Yes, it first of all it can be nice service, complex services maybe. It's we have to prepare people who stay in shelters to real life. And that's why in our shelters we provide social support, we provide mental health support, we provide language courses, we provide clear legal information. Now it's extremely important because you know what is it, TikTok and social media, yes. And that's why we try to prepare our residents build new clear life in Belgium. Yes, and that's why but at the same time we have a lot of issues with for example for Ukrainian society it's temporary yes, temporary protection. Sometimes it's big block for some process. For example, if you want to organize some business project, you have to think about future. It's not only 1 year, because it's not possible. Business have to work minimum 5 years. But if you want to organize something, you have to know what the platform under your leg. Yes, and the temporary. But Ukrainian people, it's hardworking people, and they don't have a lot of chance. And that's why, okay, if I want to do something, okay, I do it. Well, because for our opinions, better do than sit and cry. Yes.
And so did many Ukrainians found businesses here?
I don't know many or no, but near the European Parliament, for example, organized Sushi Avenue. You know what is it?
No.
Sushi Avenue, it's a sushi bar.
Sushi bar.
Yes, it's nice.
Where?
Yeah. In the middle of the European Parliament and
Sushi Avenue.
Sushi Avenue name,
Okay,
yes.
well,
And
try.
other little restaurant near the Luisa. This is some business with Ukrainian and Belarus. It's near with
In Belarus.
Yes. Because chef of this project, he lived in Ukraine, in Kiev, but then the war started, he returned in Brussels. Yes, and of course he know who is the Ukrainian people, the hard workers, and now he organizes.
It's beautiful, no? Ukrainian and Belarusian finding something together. No?
I think connection.
It's
the usual connection, collaboration, nice collaboration with big heart. It's all everything, and always it's nice idea.
I think it's a nice message as well. No, that this group of people, Ukrainian and Belarusian together, are building a food chain, like in Brussels.
I think,
despite the situation in the country,
I think it's not important what the country. For me, important our main goal. If we have the same main goal about freedom, about responsibility, about respect, about understanding what happens around us, clear understanding. If we want to provide clear information, we hate disinformation. Of course, it's nice collaboration, but if you feel, if you know somebody try to use you and your society, of course it's a bad idea. It's not not important what the nationality, it's important what the people near with you. Because of course, for example, we work with Arabian public, yes, with Arabian women. They have the same issues with Ukraine. Then they came, for example, from Syria. They came with kids. And of course, women had the same issues because they had to organize, first of all, life for kids because it's generation, and maybe some people more easy because they know some French. Yes, little bit they know French language, but a lot of issues on they had in this way, and we organize some meeting with them. We speak at the same context because we are refugee and they are refugees, and we know what we want, what we have, and what we when, why we had.
And I think it also make you feel less alone in this sense, no? Because you have like Ukrainian refugees that they can relate, for example, with Syrian refugees as well. So it's also something that make bond and create a sense of community among refugees, understanding that they are in the end on the same boat, passing through the same struggles.
Every community has some special things, yes, special context, but if you refugees, our main point is help. It's help each other, and you have, first of all, you have to be people with big heart. You have to have nice mental health. Yeah, you and we want to live with other people, with our nationalities, because Belgium, it was amazing when I came. I go, how many nationalities live in Belgium? And some, yeah. And one woman told me more than 180. I go, what? And I said, it's true. And I said, yes. And now we understand, yes, it's true. But if people want to do some nice things in the same space, why not? Why not?
You mentioned a couple of times the mental health issues of people who come here. How deep is this trauma from the war, and like how do you really address it?
Okay, now we are, of course, we started in 2022, yes, and we start to organize, first of all, mental health support service for people who came to Brussels. Why? Because all of us know if you feel some problems, some issues with back or leg, what you can do, first of all, you go to the doctor. But if you have some issues with your mind and your feeling, now I stay at home, and tomorrow will be okay, but it doesn't work. Yes, we know it, and that's why we provide with services, and we saw what happened around us, and we organize different points for different people. And now we provide face-to-face mental health support, and we provide mental health group. We provide mental health group for teenagers, for women and kids, for women and for families or what. And now, for not for Ukraine but for all of the refugees, we must understand extremely important period. It's we have to support teenagers because they lost their life, they lost orientation in their life, they lost power, family power, and that's why for us it's now we feel that we have to provide first of all teenagers, and it must be complex service. It must be sometimes now we provide mental health support, language support, and logopedic support, because then our kids came to the Brussels school, and they feel some bullying. Because they have some problem with pronunciation. They don't want to study language, they don't want to study at school, and people who don't understand context think maybe they have some mental health issues. But then they came to us. We provide some first checkup. we understand what happens. We provide logopedic support. After that, provide mental health support. And now our kids best of the best for their classes. Yes,
No,
and
that's
yeah,
nice.
that's yes, because then the kids came to Brussels. They think you must be strong, like your father, like your family, like your country. Yes, and they don't want to be loser. And
It's also a lot of pressure, no?
a pressure, yes, but it's real life. And that's why mental health support, it's extremely important. Because if you had some problem with your mind, you don't do anything.
That's true.
There. And yeah.
And I think indeed teenagers are the future of the country, indeed, and like to help them mentally in this particular moment can also like be in brackets an investment for the future of Ukraine.
Of course. Of course. Clear and nice mental health, it's nice future for all over the country, not all for all over the world. Because some people maybe want to stay in Europe, yes. Other parts want to return to Ukraine and rebuild our country. But first of all, they must have fresh mind, nice mental health, and only after that, they feel some power to organize a lot of different processes.
How about if I can ask, your own personal family situation? Your husband is still in Ukraine, or?
My husband worked in Ukraine, the east of Ukraine, in Sloviansk, Kharkiv region, Donetsk region during 4 years. But on January, he came to us, and now, of course, we had other issues. Because they lived during 4 years near this worm, and he knows what happens inside in our country and how can organize, what's happening, but then he came to other life, because Europe, it's a peaceful life and other life, but with a lot of different issues, new issues. For example, he speak English very well, more better than others. Yeah, but he don't know Netherlands, he don't know French, and then he came and oh my God, what happened in my mind? He thought, then he came to Brussels, they must be strong, then Ukraine, they must... he organized all of the process extremely quickly, but it doesn't work yet. But we will see. You know, Ukrainian society and men and women, it's strong power. Yes, we must be, first of all, must be together.
For sure.
Together.
So many thanks for this amazing interview and for your time.
Thanks a lot.